90% of us and 90% of our time are spent on screens. Let's talk about that. So there was a study the other day. I think it was on UK students, UK and US actually, and it looked at the average high school student, and it came up with this summary that 90% of high actually that's it, yeah, 100% of high school students. Correct me if I'm wrong here, guys, but check it out. So there's a study on this one. That 90% of high school students spend less time outside than prisoners. Okay, think about that. So if you're a prisoner, you're allowed, I think, 1 hour or 2 hours a day to go out to get some fresh air. You look around. Obviously, no screens, no mobiles, nothing. You go out, you relax, look around, have social contact, and then go back to prison. Okay. Compare that to an average school student where they sit there on a screen, then go in and play games. Okay. Then go back and go on social media and do all that without going out for an hour. Like 1 hour over the course of 24 hours, they can't even manage that. That's a problem, guys. That's something we need to talk about. Yeah, and it's easy to look at teenagers and go, oh my God, Gen Z or Gen Alpha, you guys are the worst. No, that applies to everyone. Okay. Right now, our screens are dumb. I mean, you're watching this from a screen. Okay. I'm recording this at a screen. Okay. So I'm not going to claim to be, innocent at this one, right? We are all at fault here. Okay. And we need to do something about it. Screens dominate our lives, let's admit that that's the first one, okay? I remember just looking out, and we know this as well. So if you go out and you're stressed out, okay, the idea is that you're supposed to look out and something green is supposed to relax you. That's because, from evolution, we're used to seeing green. So greenery relaxes you, okay? If you're in trouble, if you're stressed out, you look at the green, it relaxes you. Well, then, if you're going to sleep, then if you lay back down and look up, what do you see? You see the sky, you see the galaxy. So looking at blue things, just gets you into sleep mode. Okay, and that's why we sleep lying down. Okay, that's evolution. Okay, I mean things might have changed now, but that's evolution where people had to go in and sleep or look out in the green. Okay, and that's relaxation for everyone. But that's gone now. So 90% of our time now, actually, we're looking at the screen. So if we're not looking at TV, okay, which again is going down now because YouTube has come in, Netflix have come in, and they've tried to move into tablets. But right now, a lot of people are still looking at TV a lot. You're watching the news, the most depressing things on earth. There's no news that's positive, which is interesting. If you have a news that's positive, I mean, it lasts 2 seconds. If there's war, there's famine, if there's, combat somewhere, those things are flying off the chain. So TV, they know how to hook you there. They've been doing that for a while. But what's happened now, I think, is the mobile phones that's come up a lot over the last few years. Kids actually, but it's taking years now, and now we're on days. It goes up in terms of exponentially, in terms of how often we use our mobile, and we are always plugged in at one point or the other. And if you look back at history, when did this start? I mean, again, our usual old phones. Again, I've shown this on other channels or conversations, right? Our phones used to be this way. You just dial in, put your phone number. It was even a pain to put these things together. Put your mobile, pick up the phone and drop it. That was all you did. Okay, phone calls, maximum text. Text used to be 130 characters like Twitter, which is still the case now, funny enough. But now it's changed. Okay, now it's changed a lot, such that, we now use our boxes. We use our box, I call it box, rectangle boxes, and that's all we have. Nothing, there's no buttons, there's nothing. In fact, you want to make sure the screen is as wide as possible. Why? So they can capture you. Okay, we're now plugged in. Well, which is a problem, okay? Because if you look at it, phones of those days used to be for phone calls. So, how many times a day are you talking on the phone? Hardly. So, unless your career is that, okay? So, everything I'm going to say today, if that's your career, then you need to do it at least 8 hours a day. That's understandable. But that's very few people. The rest of us, we're just using it for using sake, right? Which is a problem to our health. It's a problem to our mental faculties. It's a problem to just basically our physical and physiological and emotional side of things. Um, but I suppose what I really want to talk about then is how these things started dominating our lives, okay? And if you look at it, so it started from, we talked about just mobile calls, which is easy, very small, minute time. Then it came up to then just being plugged in terms of our emails, BlackBerry those days. But then again, that time window went up a little bit. So if you're working in finance, if you're working in banking, or you're a manager, you needed to actually catch up on emails and approvals. So you'd wake up in the morning and go through your emails, which is what I used to do. I loved it. I remember as soon as I got my first BlackBerry in finance those days, in the 90s, I was happy as heck. Actually, 2000, sorry. I was happy as heck because I've got BlackBerry. It was a sign of prestige, right? That you can actually approve things away from the office. People could reach you. In fact, I made sure I had to sign, my signature had to say BlackBerry, which was really cool those days. Not anymore, anyway. And then you go down then to, the emails. And then after that, you had your iTunes, right? And iPhones, which, again, that's another cool thing that came in. But that allowed us then plug in. Okay, so we had to plug in to listen to those music. And that's where the usage went up. Steve Jobs, again, for his good failures and all that, right? I think he pushed this as well in terms of the usage um of your phones on iPads and iPads, iPods, and all those, because again, the usage went up there from there. And then you could see as well, he could see that the screens was important. So those days, you only had a small screen. For this old phone was still got here. See the screen real estate there is really, really small, basically half the phone. That was the case with Nokia and all those old phones. You can still see them around these days. BlackBerry initially used to have small screens, but as soon as it got a big screen, I think iPhone saw something there and they pushed ahead with that, and that became a hit straight away. Okay. And then if you look at that, that came then into social media. Social media just jacked that up a little bit. And people don't understand this, but payments actually took a lot into this because those days, all you had to do was go on social media on your phone. Okay. And if that's all you did, that was okay. Because you go in, see social media, scroll here and there, but that was it. You didn't have to take your phone with you. If you did, that was fine, but it was always in your pocket till you're bored. Okay. But payments, Apple Pay, Google Pay were a problem here because they went in and then suddenly you had to go out with your phone because you had to make payments with your phone. And then if you make payments with your phone, you might as well then check on social media. So payments became very big. Yeah, they're not giving the credit for this or the failure or the stick for this, but it's their fault, okay? And oh, by the way, sorry. So I'll talk about our app, right? So I'm the CEO of Orukka. Orukka is a payment ring, okay? So it takes away the whole functionality around excuses, okay, for taking your phone out for payments. You can just tap to pay with your ring, okay? This is a health ring, that's why you see it blinking there, right? It's checking my oxygen level. So this also doubles as a payment ring. So we have a payment ring, we have a health ring. This is new. We then have a business ring. So with this one, you can tap to receive payment. If you're a business owner, you don't need to walk around with your box. You don't need to walk around with your phone. So that's coming. So the next future is a phone now on businesses, but you don't need that because you have a ring now. So we've bypassed that completely. So please get this if you want to, orukka.com. And it's only for people who don't want to use screens. If you love your screens, please go ahead to use them, right? And we're not forcing anyone here. But as it stands, I think this is the future. I think again, for people who want to get away from this, we have to plug away from this at some point, and this is where we come in to help. If you don't wear rings, we have bracelets. I'm sure you've seen that come true as well. So the bracelets are here. You can tap to receive payments. You can tap to make payments as well. So please, yeah, check it out, orukka.com. And we have a few things in the pipeline, by the way. So we also have this where you can send a payment from ring to ring. So that's going to be a P2P payment, which we're excited about. That's crazy. There's already a wait list for that one. People are ordering it now. So please go in. I think for this one, we call it OrukkaP2P.com. So Orukka with ORUKKA. Okay. Let's go back to the topics. And the idea then was the fact that, hey, people use their phones for payment. Again, if you use your phone for payments, guess what? You're using it at least 3 times a day. Those are the anchor points. Really subtle. But what happened then is you have to bring your phone in the morning, you have to take it out in the afternoon, and you're taking it out at night. So those 3 anchor points became where you needed to use your phones. Okay, even if the battery died, okay, then the battery is dead. But in truth, it didn't die because of payments. The battery died because you've used it in the morning and then you've kept on using the social media side of things, the music and everything. Oh, you pay for lunch with your phone. Then you keep using it even further all the way. Then by 6 o'clock, the battery's dead. Okay. Then you rely on your ring, by the way. But here's the point. So the payments became a factor such that people started using their ring, and it was an example, it was an excuse. I remember talking to, again, I do these videos a lot. So someone came to me on my comment and was, hey, well, people that get their phones stolen, it's not stolen because they made payments. It's stolen because they're on social media. No, it's a combination of both. Because when your phone is stolen on the road. you've left the house and you've made a payment. There's no one, most people, okay, about, I'll say, there's a few people that walk around with their phone this way. As soon as they get out of the house, they walk that way. Okay. But in truth, you're holding it because you want to make a payment, either for the bus stop, either for, the train, either for a coffee, either for food. So that's your excuse to hold on to the phone outward. For navigation, you need to hold it down. So you're not really, while most people, I agree, use their phones for mobiles, okay, for social media. That's true, but I can tell you most people are using it for something else. But the social media is a byproduct of that. They're not using it for social media. In fact, I remember if you look at our pages, there are a few people where they just hold the phone and it gets stolen from them. They are not really doing anything, maybe other than listening to music, having paid for their train tickets, and while they're on the train, before the train moves on, it's gone. So guys, please be careful on that one. But the idea, I think, just to push the fact that we use our phones a lot for social media. The phone manufacturers are aware of this, and they continue to push that narrative to us because that's all we care about. You can look, if you want to just hang up and look at all the social media, sorry, all the phone revolution or the phone changes that have come over the last few years, right? Or weeks, actually, but years. Weeks from iPhone alone, iPhone, Android, Galaxy, all these guys have brought up new phones. And the phones, if you look at it, it's all focused around social media. It's focused around better camera, better views, and better connectivity for users. Okay. So that's something we need to watch out for. And that's the truth as we see it. Okay. Again, just pure stats, right? We're spending about 10 hours a day on social media, which I think is big. Then of that, 84% of us can't go a full day without a digital device, which is a problem. Again, you have to say, okay, do you really need the social media all day? Right? Is there something you can do around that? And then, believe it or not, I think there's a quick start here again. I don't know this one. There's a quick start here which says blue light from screens, okay, suppresses melatonin. And for those who don't know, melatonin actually allows you sleep. So the fact that the blue light from your phone reduces that, okay. And more still as well, when you wake up, I think most of us know this as well. 3 or 4 in the morning, the first thing you do is look at your phone. Okay, it might be to look at the time, which is cool, but I can tell you after that you're looking at notification, and that's your stock, and then before you know it, you can't sleep well. And with children, are even better. So I've got some stats here as well. So on the children from 8 to 12, now they spend about 4 to 6 hours of screen time. Teenagers spend 9 hours, which is huge. Here's the point. Here's what we need to do to reduce that 90% of our time that we use on screen time. One, hold yourself accountable. No one is going to complain and tell you, oh, you haven't been on social media today. So in truth, your relationships should not be based on social media. If you're making money on social media, that's a different conversation. Well, we're not, as you can tell. This is just me talking to my customers. However, if you're making money on social media, then that's okay, okay? But I believe you me, I've seen people who make money on social media and they're not on social media as much. They're actually editing on their machines, on their laptops. They've recorded and they're editing all day. They're not on social media as much as you think. People on social media are those consuming. And that's where we need to hold ourselves accountable. Okay, so we need to make sure we reduce our screen times. It's up to us. And we need to make sure we have meaningful and lovely relationships. Yeah, because again, you might be on social media and not talking to your dad or mom. Okay, there's a WhatsApp call that's going in there, or WhatsApp email that's going in, the WhatsApp message, sorry, from relations that you haven't looked at. But you hold real relationships with fake people online that are trolls, and you get angry at those comments rather than people care about you. So that's something we need to do. So cautiously, we need to reduce our screen time as much as possible, and that's on us. Set up apps. There are apps there that you can set up that actually monitors your screen time and reduces it. Set up time limits on your children. If you have kids, set up time limits so that and when you look at the time limits, that's when you realize how often they stay. Because then you see that they ask for more time. Okay, so if you put 3 hours a day, 3 hours it is. Set that up, okay? If you need help, reach out to us. We can help with that one as well. And then lastly, just get devices that help you stay off screen. Okay, this is a payment ring. This is for businesses. This is the payment ring as well. So you have no excuse to walk around with your phone, okay, and look at it and risk one, health, risk two, just your mental and emotional faculties, but rather just focus on people, on life. The max you have here is 100 years, okay? Most of us have spent half of it already. What are you going to do with the other half? It's up to you. Catch you in the next one.